before I used to be so worried and like on the grind and, 16 hours a day. I'm sleeping till noon every day. I don't give a fuck anymore. You know what I mean? I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do exactly what Ashley wants to do every day.
Reckless and the
Just agree with me.
I am. I just like that. Okay, I'll just start now because, welcome to Reckless and the Recluse. This is Judy. I'm Ashley. He's drinking out of his Patfinity cup today. That's an ode to our old guest. And we have a lot of things to talk about today, but I think we're going to start with Harry and Meghan and the Oprah interview.
Oh, Deanie watched that.
You know what I was really going to start with is I did stand up this week for the first time in like 8 months.
No shit. That's cool.
Yeah. So I went to a mic and I guess I'm going to start getting back into it because I thought maybe I should quit. But
were you funny?
Yeah. It was 12 guys and I made them all laugh. So
that was the audience?
Mm-hmm.
Where was this?
It's an open mic called Flashback.
Did you do any COVID jokes? Pandemic jokes?
Yeah, I talked about conspiracy theories. I talked about Meghan and Harry. I talked about COVID. I talked about the crime in LA.
There's crime in LA now?
Oh my God, LA is so dangerous right now. It's like
I have been gone for a while.
Like, honestly, from the middle of the pandemic to now, it's so much more dangerous. I feel like it's like I saw a woman purse get snatched.
Is this downtown?
Starbucks that I go to. No, at Starbucks Hollywood? In Hollywood. Lady Gaga's dog walker got shot in West Hollywood in the Hills. I was at a party in the Hills and this guy tried to rob two people that were coming to the party and he ran the guy over and stole his watch.
Wait, what was he did he like know them? Or are these all just random things?
Like these people were like casing the neighborhood and they must have saw that they had chains and like watches. And so, yeah. But so those are like random things. Like usually you feel pretty safe in the Hills. Like obviously anything can happen, but it's more direct, not like just random acts of violence. And then, so those are just like my personal things. But then like the Citizen app is like, and the helicopters are just like off all the time. I got a Citizen warning at my building that there was a shooter and I was like, what the hell? And then I went down and they're like, oh, the cops are just looking for a woman with a gun. And I was like, well, what does that mean?
It was somebody vaccinating people.
The shooter. So it just doesn't feel the same. Like me and my roommate and the other girl who lives in this building, we used to all like walk to the convenience store all the time, like at night. And now we're like, and then we have friends that live in the building over and we'll like sometimes tell the security guard here to watch us when we cross the street, just to cross the street. So like nothing has happened to us. It just feels worse.
Do you want to tell everyone listening your address, your specific address so they can...
Yeah, I live...
They can come stalk you? You're by the Starbucks, right? The Starbucks in LA?
Yeah.
Okay.
In LA, there's literally... Like, honestly, right now in a 0.5 radius, there's 4 Starbucks. So find me.
That is the closest coffee shop to you because it's in the building, right?
Yeah, I would totally go to a different coffee shop, but convenience over taste. Sorry.
Wait, so you said you make French press at home, right? I do pour over,
I might go back to the pour over because it tastes good.
It tastes great.
I actually not back. I've never done pour over, but my friend used to make me pour overs.
It's honestly it's easy.
I had coffee at home because I bought this really good pecan like coffee that tastes so good. And but I wanted to treat myself because it's Saturday.
I'm not saying I love going out for coffee, but like pour over is definitely the best home coffee in my
Oh,
opinion.
hell yeah. Yeah, you're right.
And it's
I
like,
agree.
it feels like there is a barrier to it. It's like, oh, it's so complicated, especially if you're grinding the beans every time. But like, once you do it one or two times, you can make a coffee from nothing, literally
In 3 minutes.
nothing, in like 3 minutes. It's just like people think, but like I feel like Mr. fucking Coffee takes longer, and it's way worse.
Keurig coffee is the worst to me. It tastes like commercial.
I know, but like that's always what they have like on set and stuff.
That's where they have everywhere now. But Nespresso is the best, like pod coffee. Like it's so good. It tastes like you went to a coffee shop.
I'm thinking about getting a coffee machine. I've never owned any coffee machine of any type. I've only done pour over at home, or I've used somebody else's something.
But now that you're rich, you're thinking about it. I'm just kidding. Like, I'm kidding.
I think coffee machines are worse unless you get like a really nice something, right? But like the grinder's a key. So I have a grinder here. It's not the best grinder, but I still feel like a shitty grinder, and grinding it every time, like before you brew, is better than having it pre-ground and having like any kind. That's my opinion. I would like to have a nice grinder though. This one's a shitty
I like to have a nice
blade grinder.
What brand is your grinder? Is this what we're getting into?
It's from Starbucks. The grinder from Starbucks. I didn't buy it, but it was here. But so this makes me think all the crime in LA, it pays to be a recluse sometimes. Recluse. I feel like the word is recluse, but we have to say recluse because it goes with reckless. So like we're purposely saying it wrong. It's like Pirates of the Caribbean. Like everybody knows the word is Caribbean, but like it's called Pirates of the Caribbean. It's not called Pirates of the Caribbean. That's just the way the fucking title. So like in this podcast, the word is recluse, even though the word is actually recluse.
Well,
anyway,
there we are.
It fucking pays.
Honestly, I think you're using COVID as an excuse because you wanted to stay home and you're not actually scared.
I don't want COVID. I absolutely don't. But around here, there isn't shit to do anyway. Like even before COVID, when I'd come home, I didn't go anywhere. There's literally, we'd go out to dinner occasionally, but you have to like drive far to go somewhere. It's like it's not always worth it. I mean, we still go sometimes, but like mostly just stay home anyway.
Monday, LA is like almost back to normal. Indoor dining, gyms, movies, sporting events. I'm so excited.
I'm great.
So excited.
Nobody even had to die to get us here. It's great.
Who's dying?
So many people in LA died for like people to reach herd immunity. I mean, I think they're almost there. Like for LA, I think the amount of people that had COVID recently, and plus the level of vaccinations, I think that it might actually be safe. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But
well, Texas is open, no masks. You can do anything over there.
Except get an abortion.
Well, that's fine.
But did you see they proposed, like I mean, it didn't pass yet, that somebody proposed that the death penalty for women who get abortions.
Abortion?
Yes.
Jesus, what are we doing? Living in the 1930s again?
Texas is so backwards. Like, yeah, freedom. I understand why people like that. Like that has its appeal to some people. I don't think it's important to me, but it's not the number one to me, like personal freedoms. But that kind of shit makes Texas not worth it, in my opinion. Like that backwards ass fucking politics and like just dump. I don't think dump is a word, but that's how Texans.
It would be nice to make a good mix of Democrat and Republican views instead of what we have, all this extreme stuff that we have going on.
I agree.
I mean, this is something to talk about. So people are coming out as super straight, and they're saying that they only like cis women or cis men, and they're saying that if you're fighting it, because they're using it again, like it's not fair because it's a preference. And so nobody should like hate on them, right? And a lot of transgender are behind them. And then a lot are saying that they're transphobic. A lot are saying that if you even say that a transgender woman isn't a real woman, you're transphobic. So I just think that we've gone too far with the whole topic. Like, let's accept and let everybody do what they want. But if somebody doesn't want to sleep with someone who's transgender, why is that a problem all of a sudden? I mean, even if you're straight, there's going to be men and women you don't want to sleep with.
Of
right?
course.
So then
I
it should just not be it doesn't need to be such a huge topic. It needs to be more like personal. And I personally do think, because there's a lot of transgenders too with videos on TikTok that are like, a lot of times I have sex with a guy and then I don't tell him until after we have sex. And I'm like, I think that's kind of fucked up. I think that like what it's not necessarily affecting him, like you not telling him you have herpes, but I think that you should, I mean, I get it. A lot of people have illicit, sex, whatever, but I think you should trust the person that you have sex with at least, right?
I mean, yes and no. I think both things.
Okay, yeah, I wanted your opinion because I know we think differently on a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of things that must be disclosed before you sleep with someone, like for instance, herpes, like you mentioned, diseases, but there's also a lot of shit that you don't disclose often before you sleep with someone, which has to do with your personal history, like your family life. That shit can affect the other person. Like if you continue to, like, it's a social thing. It's not like a physical thing. Like, I mean, I don't know how contagious transgenderism is, but I don't think it's that contagious. It's not like COVID. It's not like herpes.
Okay, this is where we're going with this.
No, I'm just kidding. But like, I think that there is, you don't have to disclose, like you don't disclose how many people you slept with most of the time before you sleep with somebody. And that's like, a life, it's your own sexual history. And I think that could fall in that category too. I don't think it's necessarily deceptive. Like if that person wants to sleep with you, they're attracted to you, that sort of doesn't matter, right? Like that shouldn't, like if I was going to sleep with somebody and I told them like, let me think, I have slept with 200 women. That could be a turnoff, right? They could be like, oh, I'm not attracted to you anymore. Just like if I was like, oh, I'm actually transgender. I don't
Got it.
If I say, oh, I'm actually transgender and they're not attracted to me at that, like those two things feel more equivalent to me because it's not, it doesn't.
Like it's a feeling, but I'm not going to agree with you. Like but I don't think so. I think that's bullshit. I think like me sleeping with 200 people doesn't affect the fact that now you've slept with someone who's transgender. Now, you know what I mean?
But why does that matter?
Because I would matter to me. So that's why, so it's a feeling thing. So I don't think it's fair. Like some people wouldn't care, but some people would. So I don't think it's fair.
I mean,
I think in general though, there's some transgender women out there that are obviously way prettier than real women. Like they are perfect. So you might not be able to notice, but I'd say in everyday life, unless you were really drunk at a bar, you would know. So,
I mean, I understand why you say that. I get it. I do. But at the same time, there's like women or men as a category is so broad to begin with, right? It's like you have somebody, you have me, and then you have fucking
Joe Rogan. I don't know.
Joe Rogan. You got fucking Shaquille O'Neal. Like we're all in the same category. How is that fair? That's like ridiculous. So like the same for women. It shouldn't. I think gender. I've talked about this. I have always thought it's kind of a silly concept, but and I've already gone over this in an earlier episode. But like the fact that transgender, that movement has been in the limelight, it almost like makes gender important again because it's important to those people. who have now are able to express gender and themselves through gender. So to me, gender is not important. Like the fact that you want to label me and fucking Shaquille O'Neal is the same, that's hilarious. Like we're not the same at all. Like physically, and this is a physical categorization, right? It has nothing to do with our personalities, what we're into, our interests,
abilities, or
our basketball talent, like none of that shit. It's just man, because
but see, okay, that's true. So you and Shaquille are in the same category as men, okay? But if I was gonna have sex with you or Shaquille O'Neal, the basic things of no, not choosing between you guys. I'm just saying the basic thing is that you are a man, you have a dick. You know what I mean? So
if that's all that matters to you, then sure. But I don't think that's
but I mean, that's not all that matters, because that's not what gets like. It's not like, oh, man has dick, I'm having sex. Obviously, it's all these other layers of things. But I'm saying at the end, that's what. So I just don't think there should be an argument on it. I don't think that people. What I'm trying to say is, I do not think it's transphobic if you don't want to sleep with someone, and I do think they should say. And I know that for them, they don't want to say because they want to just blend in, but I don't know. That's just my personal opinion, obviously.
I mean, I'm halfway there with you. I don't wait, what was the first thing you said? I think it's totally fine if you don't want to sleep with a trans person. Like there are plenty of people I don't want to sleep with.
Like it's great. I mean, I know. Yeah.
But I also think like if you're going to say that every trans person has to disclose that they're trans before they sleep with you, then shouldn't you have to disclose that you're cis before you sleep with somebody? Yeah, can't that argument be made? I mean, sure. If everybody has to say that, if that's the new rule, then okay.
I mean, I guess it's true. I guess there's so many rules too. I mean, and people definitely, the younger generation is very into like consent, which is a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm saying into like being like, are you sure this is okay? Can I do this? Like blah, 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 right? Where a lot of people can argue that takes the sex appeal out of a lot of the, you know what I mean? But it is better because what if you were doing something you didn't want to do? It makes me think about things all the ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. But I think there's less downside that way. There maybe is like slightly less upside, but way less downside, right?
No, for sure. And if you're in a relationship, once you're in a relationship, it doesn't have to be such a big deal.
Nah, you don't need verbal consent to like your fucking spouse of 5 years. Like, is this okay if I touch your arm? Like, go fuck yourself. You have consent until the other person says you don't at that point. It's like default consent. And I think that goes like for a lot of relationships, like, and that's fine. But like, you have to establish that.
Yeah. So, I mean, in that way, it is just a good thing.
I think it's a good thing. Oh, yeah. I wanted to...
But I guess what I was saying is that has evolved. So this situation is just new and it'll evolve and maybe I'll feel different about it in 5 years. You know what I mean? Not about how I feel, but what I feel should and shouldn't be done.
I mean, I think you've said it. You said it already. Like there are trans women that are like more feminine and more like perfect than cis women. So like if the fact that some straight guy won't be attracted to that, like the person who like idealizes their idea of a woman because they're in this like category of trans, that it's kind of ridiculous in my opinion. But like having that be such an obstacle in your mind is ridiculous to me. Like I can't be attracted to this person because they used to look like this. Like, what about people who were like 350 pounds in high school and then you go to your 10-year reunion and they're fucking hot. Like, oh, but they used to be, I remember how they used to be and I wasn't attracted to them then. Like, isn't that kind of the same thing? Like
I guess when you break it down to us just all being human, yeah, it is. So, I mean, it's complicated, honestly.
Yeah, no shit. And like, consensually sleep with whoever the fuck you want. It doesn't matter. No,
true.
nothing that anybody else does should affect you unless it does affect you.
You know, the main thing that I learned during quarantine was that nothing matters. Like it was really like, because I mean, the things that I used to worry about before quarantine, I don't give a fuck anymore.
Give me an example.
Like, I don't care. I was already working on this, but like now, like if someone's mad at me for something stupid, or like friends are acting stupid, I'm just like, who cares? Tomorrow's a new day. Like things will just move on. Money, I think money does not matter at all. It's just a idea. It's energy. It's a construct. Like I'm always going to have what I need, you know? So I don't have to, like before I used to be so worried and like on the grind and, 16 hours a day. I'm sleeping till noon every day. I don't give a fuck anymore. You know what I mean? I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do exactly what Ashley wants to do every day. And if Ashley wants to sleep in, if Ashley wants to buy a coffee, yes, I like to talk about myself in the third person. That is what we're doing. But
it's like there's a third person on this podcast.
But quarantine just really, really like, because I mean, even my friend the other day was like, I aspire to be like you. You're just sleeping in today. And I was like, because nothing matters. And she's like, what? She's like, well, I matter. And I was like, that's not what I mean. Like, I still care about people. But like the little constructs that we put in our mind, like thinking, that the government matters, our taxes, this, whatever. It's the most frivolous bullshit that we just decided mattered. Going to work 9 to 5, any of that. We just decided. We just made this all up. And so
now you're starting to sound like me. So,
well, maybe. I mean, I feel the happiest I've ever felt though, like these past few months. Like, I feel like obviously the goal in life is finding happiness, and happiness is not obviously what we all think it is, right? It's just like a mindset. And I finally found it, and it's beautiful.
And it's really cool. It's in your bed till noon.
Well, when I don't always do that, but when like when I have a bad feeling, I can just be like, get rid of it.
Well, I'm glad you learned that. That's great. I mean, I'm on that page too. And it's kind of depressing to me that I let myself, I fight with myself about this because I have this like job that's like kind of stressful and it's full time right now. And the only reason that I'm doing it is because it's temporary, and I know it's temporary, and there's always been an end point. So I'm like, okay, there's not really that much happening right now anyway. I might as well just work this job until that day, save money. I've gotten completely out of debt. My credit score has gone up like 150 points. Like I'm doing all this stuff that I need to do. So I'm feeling good about that. Plus I'm saving money. I'm figuring out ways to invest, which is like all I've been doing the past week. But at the same time, like I fucked up our podcast this week. Like I'm terrible at improv. Like all the stuff that I actually like is suffering right now. So it kind of sucks. And like, I have to keep telling myself, plus I had a really shitty work week this week. Like some stuff went wrong. Like I didn't get in trouble, but it was just like, I felt like extra pressure on myself. It was just like a bad week. And I was just like, why am I doing this? And it's been very shitty. And it's only like, what is it, March right now? So it's like 3.5 more months. So the end is in sight, but I just like kind of hate myself at the same time. It's been shitty. And like,
I mean, that sucks, but you're not doing it forever. And it has gotten, and obviously, like, I'm not saying like, obviously having savings and all that kind of stuff is like important. So now you just don't have to do it forever. And when you get back in improv and we get more into this podcast, then you'll feel really good. So it's not a bad thing. And that wasn't like definitely what I do think, honestly, the point of life is doing exactly what you want every day, for sure.
I do too.
So I do, like, you can't do this long term. But for a moment of suffering to have,
but those other things they were weighing on me, like my credit was sucked. Like I had credit card that I hadn't paid off. I was literally in the negative at the beginning of the pandemic. as far as money went. Like the first stimulus check, I needed it. People are talking about like, oh, if you put your stimulus check into Bitcoin, it'd be worth this much right now. I was like, yeah, I put it into my rent or whatever I was paying at the time. Like I couldn't put that away. Like, that's great. I would love to have that extra Bitcoin money right now, because now I am heavily into crypto and bullshit and trading. Anyway, that's it.
Yeah.
But like, I started out in the negative, and now I'm like much more. I'm not, I just like am secure, for the time being, which is, definitely important to me. Something that Deanie has been like, when are you getting your shit together? I'm like, I did it. Like, I fucking did it. You believe this? Because this pandemic. It's crazy.
That is kind of crazy. This pandemic has been interesting to see who flourished and who didn't.
I'm in such a better place, and I feel guilty about it because it's been horrible for so many people. A lot of people have had a really terrible time, I talk to people on the phone all the time. They're like, I lost every person in my family. Like, everyone in my family died. We all got sick, and I'm the only one that survived. Well, that's cool. Like, I actually have a 783 credit score, so same.
You're like, I can buy anything. If I go to a dealership, they're giving me 4 cars. Oh, like, you missed your grandma? Sorry.
I can go to the I can get you like I don't know, what's your grandma worth to you? $200? Like, no problem. How about 0.05 Ethereum? What's your wallet address, dude?
Oh my God. You're the worst.
I know. That's what I'm saying though. Like, it's been such a strange year, and I'm in a better place, and it's weird to be in a better place because of such a terrible.
But then, so instead of feeling guilt about that, right? Wouldn't it be more like, you put all this work, all these years into thinking that nothing matters, and to like realizing your happiness, to being in a situation that, with, you have a wife you like, and you're in a career that you wanted. So don't you think that maybe all these blessings came because that was your mindset? And maybe a lot of these other people, yeah, you can't control people dying. Like, that's a different thing. But like, people who are going through a really hard time, maybe that manifested. And then they had to really, like, when I was at the mic, one of the guys was like, quarantine was the worst time of my life. I was so depressed, like, just going off about it. And I went up and I was like, I don't know what the hell happened to you, but it was the best time of my life. Like, I hung out with the people in my building, when there was nowhere to go. We were watching movies, crafting, writing, hanging out at the pool. Like, that was my life, and it was okay. I had no responsibility. Nothing that would, like, I was not supposed to go to work. I didn't check my emails. Like, now every day I have to check the emails, and there's always emails I have to get back to, right? For 3 months, I didn't check my email for 3 months.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm sorry. That was like the best time of my life. But, and it wasn't I get it. I'm not saying, but it was just so nice. And I think that that's more of a mindset, because I could have made it the worst. I could have been like, oh my God. Because there was a little anxiety at the beginning when it was like, oh my God, I can't go to comedy anymore. Or like, there's no auditions. Like, everything I live for in LA is dead, So there was a moment of that. And I could have lived in that. And I could have gone into a depression and sat in my room. And then guess what? Bad things would be happening to me right now. So I think I don't think you should be feeling guilty. You should be like, oh, my mindset got me to this place. And now, because I wanted good things, now I have good things.
I think what it literally was my
dying from COVID, because like, people can die. Like, that's a whole other, people die, and you have to deal with that. And the people who stay behind have to deal, and that's awful. But I'm just talking about your personal life.
No, I understand. What it was the fact that I have an education that I was able to fall back on. That's literally how I got my job, how I got a promotion within my job. I think that was a big difference between me and a lot of actors in Los Angeles. It was like, I have this whole other career option. So I think that was really what allowed me that alternative, and like an actual choice,
Yeah,
because
that you created. And that's, you know what I'm saying?
I sought it out, I was like, okay, I have a degree in public health and we're in a public health crisis. That
Perfect.
could work, but I spent the first few months just fucking having no money and just running. I ran 40 miles a week last summer. Just like, I would just fucking run. That's all I did was run and play video games, which was kind of great. I mean, I'm not complaining, but like, I also was like, I probably need to find a job.
Do something. And then you did. And here you are. And it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I found a balance. Like today, this is kind of great. So like this week was hard at work. So today I woke up early. Also, I'm getting up early because of my job, which is weird too. But I woke up and now I have a gym in the basement. So I worked out. Then I got on the Peloton and did like a cardio workout. Then I went in the sauna for an hour and meditated in the sauna. Then I took a shower and like ate and drank a bunch of water and stuff and drank coffee. And now I'm here and I'm like, it's kind of great.
Yeah.
Feeling pretty good.
You did a lot.
I did a lot today. And I did it on purpose. I was like, tomorrow I'm going to wake up. I'm going to do all the things.
Okay. Well, that's good. See? Mindset.
Recluse.
I guess I don't know. I'm not doing anything reckless anymore because California is opening up, but I did go to a restaurant that like was indoors yesterday. And it was 2 days ago. It was packed.
It was packed? They don't even have like a 25% limit or anything?
They're illegally doing it. Like we're not doing indoor dining here yet.
Oh. Okay.
So they have
what kind of restaurant?
Italian.
So it was like not even like a sketchy restaurant?
No, it's really good, like really good food. But the owner just doesn't give a fuck, I guess. But they had live music, and then they had on the other side they had like I guess not like a DJ, but like they had good music and everyone. It was fun, and they stayed open till 3 a.m.
Damn. I mean, people are eager. I get it. I'm even a little bit eager. So my friends, so I got my first vaccine dose. And so like me and a couple other of my friends will be vaccinated within the next couple of weeks. So we're planning a trip at the end of April. My friend he's renting this like giant house, like this mansion on a lake in Virginia. Ooh. And there's right now 3 of us going because we'll be the only 3 in the group that are
vaccinated,
both available and vaccinated. And so I'm gonna be getting out in the world in like a month.
That's good. I'm glad. My friend rented an Airbnb tonight in Orange County, so we're going. I don't know.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck over there, right? Where in Orange County? HB?
I think like Newport. But the last time we went to San Diego and you thought Huntington Beach. We went to San Diego and they were allowing indoor dining. I forgot about that.
I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a while before I'm comfortable. Like we were even talking about when we go to Virginia, like we'll probably just either get takeout or eat outside because it'll hopefully be nice out by then anyway. So like, because all my other friends, they all have kids and stuff. And they're like, I still don't even want to risk it. So, which they don't want to bring it home.
Kids are going back to school here next month.
Yeah.
You can opt out, but
cases are back going up again in New Jersey. It's scary. Anyway, let's keep talking about COVID for a while. Let's do another hour on COVID.
That's our theme.
So I thought it was so funny, and we don't have to talk about this for very long, but like yesterday, you know how I did that, I think you responded to me, so I think you did see it. I did an Instagram series on Spring is Here. Yes. And I was like, this is going to make people very uncomfortable. And it was so funny because it started off real normal. It was like Spring is Here, a series. And then it was just like, I was outside. I went for a walk. So I took a picture of like my driveway because the snow was finally melting because it was like 60 degrees out. So I was like, the snow is melting. And then the next one was, the bears are coming out of hibernation. And there was this like stuffed bear that's been there for fucking ever, just like on the side of the road that's now uncovered.
I thought you
because
put it there. That's funny.
No, I did not put it there, but I walked past it and I was like, look at, there's that bear again. And so many people responded to the bear like, ha ha ha, that's cute or that's funny. And I think you responded to that. But the real joke was the next one, and nobody responded to that because everyone was just like, ugh. It was me saying that Chris D'Elia saw his shadow.
And no one said anything?
No.
Why didn't I see that?
Oh, you didn't see that one? You stopped at the bear? Yeah, that makes sense.
I didn't stop looking. I think that was all that I saw. And then you probably posted that later. And I don't think I've looked at stories since then. So I'll see it today.
I mean, I don't care. I
know you don't care. I'm not saying, I'm just telling you that's weird because I do look at your stories.
I thought it was so funny though that people were like clicking through and then they got to the bear and they're like, ha, LOL, look at the little bear. And then Chris D'Elia, it was just like, and Chris D'Elia came out and saw his shadow. And it was just like, oh. And,
so what do you think about him doing his podcast?
I actually listened to it because I was so like, I had such mixed feelings about it. So I was just like, I'm just going to listen to it, see what this is about. And I have some feelings. The first one is just a man talking about his baby at this point, which is not very exciting or funny. So, and that's fine. I don't really care if he wants to have a podcast, him talking about his fucking kid.
His baby. He doesn't have anything else right now.
The other thing is like, if you really want to figure out like who your fans are, just get canceled. That's a good way to just like set a filter, be like, let's see like how loyal my fans are. Like say some shit, do some fucked up shit, go away for a while and then come back. And then those people, those are your real fans.
They really love you. That's crazy. I didn't think about it like that. Okay, so I'm glad he's back. Like, I think he's funny. I haven't listened to the podcast yet, but what I did find kind of cringy was that video he posted where he's like laying outside and they're like, "Come play games with us, Chris," and he's like, "No." And the caption was, "Now that I'm not cheating, I can say no to doing things I don't want to do." And I was like,
I saw that too. It's like, it's so fucking annoying that like now that I feel like now that he admitted his flaws or the shit that he's doing, now he just like has a free pass to like joke about it and be like whatever. And like, yeah, you can make jokes, but like you still did all that shit. It's not gone. You can't just be like, ha, I used to be a cheater, now I'm not. Now I'm a great guy. I'm a great father, great husband. Like, you're not. Like, look at your track record. You've been a shitty guy a lot longer than you've been a decent guy. And you're only a decent guy because you have to be. So like, let's wait till you go a few more years without fucking up.
I feel like that joke was, I'm not saying it wasn't funny, but it wasn't time to make it. It was not time. He did not deserve the right to make that joke. I'm like, so you haven't been cheating for 6 months because you were forced to stop cheating, because literally everyone is looking at you and it's not funny.
Nobody's going to hook up with you right now, Chris.
Yeah.
So that's why you're not cheating, because you can't.
Yeah. Yes. Because you literally can't DM people because everyone is watching you. So I found that cringe personally, and I do like him, but
I mean, he certainly said funny things, but I don't like him. I don't really care.
No, it's fine. A lot of people don't. And I'm just saying like, I do find him funny and I don't hate him being back with his podcast.
I don't either.
I don't usually like judge things too hard, but I did. It was just like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing isn't sitting right. The fact that like, he just had this plan. He's like, okay, on this day, I'm going to come out with this video, tell everybody what I did. And then after that, I'm good to go. I can start doing my podcast again. I can start posting on social media again. It's like, no, you can't, dude. Like, I mean, well, you can, but like, just because you put yourself out there doesn't mean that like
this is okay.
People are ready to like see your face. And like, I stopped following him because I don't want to. I don't want to be like, I don't care, But like, why am I going to follow him? I don't want to see his shit. I don't care. I also don't want to see anybody just posting pictures of their baby. So
yeah, that's true. That's a whole, because that's like
that's all he can do at this point. So I'm good.
I just like, I get it, but the fiance also looks kind of stupid.
She looks ridiculous. Are you
Like,
kidding me?
okay.
Like, I feel so bad.
Like, I get, like, you forgive someone, you love them, like, whatever, but like, it's one thing if a guy cheats on you once. It's one thing if even the media found out that he cheated once and you forgave him. But Chris D'Elia literally probably slept with 100 women while he was with her.
Yeah, I mean,
and everyone publicly knows. Like, maybe if only she knew, like she found his text messages, she could decide. But it's like, we all know.
Yeah, it's not a great look. I mean, I feel bad for the kid, right?
Yeah,
like,
I get it.
It would. It's ridiculous. Like, if anybody who wasn't famous was in that position, there's no way that anybody's staying with that person.
No, like, now it's like, oh, is it just for the money then? I don't know.
He did say on his podcast how he can say whatever he wants now because he's got no sponsors. Like, a bunch of his friends left him. He got cut out of like movies that he was just doing as a favor. And he's like, I can say literally anything I want. And I'm like, well, that's a decent point. You probably can. She's gotten to that place.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that wouldn't be a bad thing, I guess.
Yeah. Once you're canceled, I mean, you got your loyal fans and they will support you no matter what. Like, you're good to go at that point. He can tour. No, he's doing a Patreon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which I'm already top tier. Whatever it is, I'll pay it.
Oh, so this last podcast wasn't on YouTube. It was on Patreon?
No, I think he's going to do like Patreon, like additionally. Some people do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So then he's just making money from views on YouTube then?
Probably. I mean, he definitely doesn't have any sponsors. That's for sure.
That's crazy, huh?
But neither do we. So maybe we can have him on.
But we're so famous that like, we don't need sponsors. Like, everyone's listening. Everyone's watching us. Like, fuck Nero Gum. We just have Judy and Ashley.
We need our own gum.
We should make our own.
What else do we need to talk about?
The gum that turns... I don't know. I think we can wrap up because you got to go to work.
Mm-hmm. I can do 10 more minutes. What do you want to talk about?
Well, what else was in the news that I wanted to talk about? I mean, I can't go on conspiracy theories. See, when you put me on the spot, like when we're just flowing, I could just talk. But like you put me on the spot, I'm like...
9 minutes. What else?
We're just going to call it quits.
What about...
No, go ahead.
No, I just want to say, I'm not going to tell everyone what happened, but I will say sorry that I fucked up the podcast. I put something in that Ashley specifically said not to put in. And because I'm so busy with work, I was just like, I didn't even have a chance to listen to the whole thing. And I just uploaded it. And then later on, she texted me like, what the fuck, dude? I mean, you didn't say that, but you were literally like, I
was like, wow, I really spilled on this podcast.
Yeah, you acted like it was your fault. I was like, whoa, oh shit, my bad. And then I went and immediately cut it off. So you can't find it now. It's gone.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
And that's why I'm not talking about my personal life at all.
It wasn't even your personal life. It was just...
It wasn't. I know. I'm just messing around.
Yeah, it was just something that you didn't want out there. And I get it. I mean, it was totally my fault because I was just like, it's good. It's great. Like, I was listening to all of them, every second of every one, being like, okay, what do I need to take out? Like, where do I need to edit anything? Just trying to make it perfect. And lately I've been busy and I'm like, I remember being pretty good. I think it's funny. Yeah, let's just upload it. Not going to do that again. I also have a notebook here. Well, taking notes just in case anything comes up, like maybe refer back to this. See if you want to keep that in.
Well, we could keep everything in today, I think. Yeah, so I didn't care too much because obviously, our thousands of views come in like the next day.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was fine. But thank you for taking it out.
Yeah, I still haven't even re-uploaded the audio yet. Just the YouTube, because I didn't have to take the YouTube down. You can actually like edit it while it's
on there.
So I just made it not public and then edited it. And then when it was fixed, I made it public again. So we didn't lose our 6 views,
Ooh,
Yeah.
That's good.
But I still have to put the audio back up, which I'll do. And yeah. You know what? I would like to hear from people.
I think that would be our niche, is if we started having people tell stories about like how they're like us, or like me, or like you, or just stuff like,
Yeah, I was thinking of things. How dumb would it be if we did a Pat Finnerty show recap podcast? That would be the dumbest niche ever, but like also funny. Like, okay, this week, I mean, it's just like funny for one day, and then it's just
funny one time, but that can be but we could do maybe Instagram lives where we read like stories from people or something. Like,
yeah, give us ideas. Send in your ideas. What do we need to do? Because we've talked about everything. We've covered everything there is. We've made every joke.
And now we need a niche. Why can't
we need a niche? We need a niche. Okay.
I was gonna say niche, and then I was like, I'm gonna say niche, and then it just came out niche.
Niche. Have you ever had a knish?
What is that again?
It's like, it's Jew food, but it's delicious. It's like a it's kind of like a pastry with like potato.
Yes, I have. I was like, good. I know I have, but it's just not like clicking.
It's good, right?
Yeah. I actually like a lot of Jewish food.
I think, Jewish food is actually pretty good now that I think about it. Like,
not all of it, like the gefilte fish or whatever, that's disgusting. But there is good things.
Yeah, I mean,
matzo ball soup, obviously.
Matzo ball soup. Novalox is fucking ridiculously good.
Novalox is my favorite breakfast, and I didn't even I should give them more credit for that.
I mean, I think that like that alone is great. Plus, like corned beef, that kind of like that shit is really good.
Ooh, only if it's done right, though. A lot of people do not do that shit right.
Sure, but if you go to like a kosher deli with like some nice corned beef, that shit is good.
Dude, I've accidentally been vegan this whole week. Like, I'm not trying to be vegan, but I made chicken seitan, homemade. I had a ton.
That does not sound like an accident.
No, because, okay, so I've been eating it because it takes like 3 hours. I've been eating it because I feel like meat I probably told you this, from the grocery store is so gross. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to try it. Store. Well, just because, what?
I said, that's why it's called the grocery store.
Okay. Oh.
I went like that, and then I went like this.
So I found that recipe. I made it. It tasted so good. So now I made a bunch this week so that I could just like fry some up every time I made something. I put it in pasta. I made some wraps, ate it with some veggies. And then I just did a bunch of other recipes, all vegetables. I ate like all vegetables. I went out to eat yesterday, so I wasn't vegan then. But I just thought it was the funniest thing, because I don't want to be vegan, but now here at my house, I'm vegan.
Is this coming back around to corned beef or no?
Because I love corned beef, but I was like, I wonder if I can make a vegan version, because they're making vegan pastrami.
Oh, come on. Okay. I mean, whatever. I don't give a fuck.
Do you make good corned beef?
No, I don't make corned beef, but I've had good corned beef.
Oh, okay.
I don't fucking
we're still talking about
corned beef. I mean, I'm still thinking about it. Also, you know what I thought of? And I've been trying to think of like who the right person to think about this is. But Chris D'Elia, now that we were talking about him, and I've been thinking about him more. He seems like the kind of guy that would wear V-neck underwear. Doesn't he?
What does that mean?
I just thought the idea of V-neck underwear is really funny.
How would that even stay up?
Because it's just like, like I'm actually wearing a V-neck t-shirt right now, but it's like, you want to show a little bit of whatever the hell this is. And, V-neck
Show
underwear
your-
would be funny. Just like
show the
dips,
top of the.
just dips, show some root,
Okay, he
You don't
would.
think-
but
You don't
It
think
wouldn't stay
V-neck
up.
underwear is a funny concept? I think it's
no,
hilarious.
because it wouldn't stay up.
He's so mad about it. No, V-neck underwear can never fly. The only letter neck underwear you can do is I don't know. What letter?
None.
None
it
of
has
them.
To stay up. It has to stay on your hips. What are you gonna do? Have weird under? You can't do it.
Well, first of all, like I don't have hips anyway. It's all about the elastic band. So I feel like it would work.
But how would the elastic stay up here and that stay in place? It just wouldn't work.
Maybe you have to like Jennifer Lopez it and just like put a little bit of that tape here, the double-sided tape, and just like kind of have it like.
So do you want to just tape your underwear from now on?
I think it's worth it. Just to like show that kind of like create an artificial D'Angelo.
Are you just trying to find a way because you've been working out to show off your body more?